Hello, and welcome to the Media Center's 10th Local Hero Award series, in which we showcase 5 people from the Mid-Peninsula for outstanding achievement or contributions to the community. We solicited nominations and were especially looking for the unsung heroes. Each winner is an inspiration, and each has a great story to tell. Many different kinds of therapy are available to assist those with special needs, but I, for one, had never heard of equine therapy until I met Ashley McIntyre. Regardless of the condition, from spinal cord injury to autism to visual and hearing impairments, she puts her clients on horseback and generally stuns everyone with the strides they make. Ashley's background seems perfectly designed for her work. She's been a competitive athlete in swimming, volleyball, and horseback riding, with a specialty in dressage. She has a degree in counseling. She currently works as a teacher at a local middle school where she coaches girls' sports. And she has a black belt in martial arts. Ashley, what is it that equestrian therapy offers that other therapies might not?
So in general, animal therapies are the best, but what's so great about equestrian activities is that you're actually sitting on your partner, and that partner, they're pretty much put together similar like we are. So if you can't walk, or you have a depletion on one side of your body, or you have low tone, it lights up your body like you are walking, or that you're capable of doing something. So when we're sitting on them, they move our body like we're walking. So if you don't walk well, you don't run, it moves your body like you're doing it. So that's the only kind of the big difference, is that you have this physical response that lights up your whole body. All animal therapy is great, but that one, that's what makes it a little bit different. You have this connection with the physicality to it, sitting on him.
So that's good for the physical component.
Yes.
But what about some of the cognitive and other?
So like with autism, what's nice, why it works so well with autism is because the child quiets themselves. There's a pushback. There's this input that's going through their body, that their body gets to be centered and quiet long enough. And that's when it's the opportunity to teach them something, or they get an opportunity to learn a new word, is because now they're quiet. You've kind of accessed a moment in time to figure out how to communicate with them. So they get this input, this quietness, this stillness, this pushback. With, you know, when you see people stem like they're hitting themselves, they're looking for a pushback. Or why people hug you really tight, it's a pushback. They're looking for this feeling, this sense of being whole again. Well, that's what horses offer, like with people with autism.
So what are some of the other ones? I listed a few, but what are some of the other conditions you deal with?
So we work with people with eating disorders, amputees, quadriplegia, people that have lost their sight, no hearing, autism, cognitive learning, receptive learning, expressive learning delays, Down syndrome, wow. People transitioning from, that might be passing on and they're having bereavement time, or might even be going through cancer and going through a later stage, and it's just a kind of time that they get connected to earth again and feel more solid.
Why do you feel that you particularly like working with this community?
So I'm all for the underdog, and I find that in life, I think we live in especially in this area, we live in a society where we're always putting people in boxes, and we have stereotypes, and I don't think we celebrate what people have to offer. And I think sometimes we look at people with disabilities and we just label them this disability, and that's who they are. But really there's this whole creative, wonderful, amazing human being underneath. And although if they have an issue and they can't express it, you just have to find another way to communicate. And so for me, I'm all about the underdog.
What are some of the biggest hurdles that people have to overcome? Maybe they're obvious.
So a couple, because they're on horses. It could just be the size of the horse. Just that alone can be overwhelming experience. And then, of course, on the unknown. But that's all human nature in general. Everyone is kind of afraid of trying new things.
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter if you have a disability. Not everyone's kind of like that. So I would say the size of the horse and what the movement might give them. Like they're afraid they won't be able to stay on. But because we have a team, I'm always assuring, don't worry, even if you slide off or you start to lose your balance, there's someone going to be there to catch you. There's someone that's going to keep you in balance. That's the whole idea why you're here.
It does strike me when I was watching you that you are the ultimate multitasker, and everybody in the ring kind of has to be. So on one level, you are dealing with your trainers, you're training them, you're training the horses, you're working with the riders, but each one of them has to deal with a whole host of things at once.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So in our program, we don't have actually that, it's not a perfect scenario where we get to like group people with similar disabilities together. So often I can get someone who's blind or quadriplegic, someone with quadriplegia, I should say, and someone with autism, and they all communicate very differently, and they need to learn on a very different way. Me talking to someone with quadriplegia is so about their body and accessing what they can access. Someone who's not sighted and they've never been on a horse, for me, and we might all be doing the same movement, but how to teach them, I have to teach them all separately. And as well as the people that are helping them, I have to coach them that they don't get in the way. They're there to support and yet not get in the way. So like often we have an attorney who came, lovely woman, working really hard. The horse won't move forward. And I finally said to her, okay, what are you thinking about? And she's like, I have a brief tomorrow. And I said, okay, the brief needs to stay outside the arena right now because you are affecting what this person's trying to do on the horse, because the horse is picking up 5 different energies. And that's overwhelming, because he's like, do I listen to the rider? Do I listen to the person leading me? Do I listen to the sidewalkers? Because if all of them are not on the same page, then it's not a really good chemistry.
And you don't want the horse working on the brief.
No, we don't want the horse working on the brief.
So for the rider alone, how much does a rider, and I'm talking about your competitive riding experience as well as teaching, how much does the rider have to focus on?
You are a partner. It's a partnership. So if you are not in the moment and you are not paying attention to your partner, it's like tango. You know, you can put the best 2 dancers together, but they still have months and months of work together to move as one, to move flawlessly, that they are elegant together. Well, that's the same thing with horses. It's a relationship, and you have to spend time being in the moment together. It's a partnership.
And how much is that pairing up, as with partnerships, important? Because you do pair them up.
I have
right?
to, yes, because each horse moves very differently. So some are more concussive and some are smoother. Some are wide, some are slim. So you can imagine if you have cerebral palsy, you're very tight. Your muscles are tight, you're in a rigid state. Well, me putting you on a wide horse would be very uncomfortable. So I have to find you just the right width of a horse. Now, at the same time, some clients can't handle the concussiveness. So if I have someone a child who picks up energy too much, and they end up getting so excited, and not in an excited good way, but they get tense because the concussion, the movement is too much. I need to find a slower mover or a softer mover or a bigger mover.
So it's personality as well.
Yes, but also just how the horse moves and how it moves through their bodies. So now, on the other hand, there are some people that we need to kind of stretch out, so a little bit wider horse to help them get longer muscles. So it just kind of depends, and yes, it's a little bit of a puzzle piece.
Most of these people come to you, once, twice a week. How much can that do?
You know, it's really funny that you asked me that question. So the other day, I'm actually observing, I'm like, how long has he been coming here? Okay, 2 years. And he went to India for a month. He was off for, being sick. And oh my gosh, look how far he's coming once a week. So even, I train every day and I have to work every day at it. And I'm like, am I a slow learner? Because I am not picking up this material as quickly as I see our clients do it.
Why? How does that happen so quickly? What's happening with them?
I'd like to think they're being motivated. I like to think that they're being pushed, that someone's like attentive and requiring and empowering them, and they want to move forward. Also, many of our clients, it's the only activity they do all week and they look forward to it, so I think the motivation is pretty strong.
Do you see things happen in classes?
All the time, all the time. I see little miracles every single day. And again, if you're about celebrating the small things add up to big things. Mm-hmm. I think we live in a society where you have to do this big grand thing to be noticed, but really, it takes so many little steps to get there. And when you see someone who comes in who has low tone and they can barely speak because they're so low tone, their diaphragm can't get enough air, or they can't open their hands, you just have to think about what you do with your hand that would, that the fact that you can pick up your own glass, that you can brush your hair, that you can shake a hand, these are all big things. And if you can help someone move their hands better or walk better or now become stronger in the core, and when your core is stronger, your limbs become stronger. And if your limbs are stronger, we walk better. So these are all empowering things, and I see this all the time.
What are some of the most, give me one of the most dramatic before and afters that you
I
can
have
remember.
two, actually.
Okay.
One is a woman with quadriplegia, and she decided to do equine therapy and saltwater therapy. And, you know, you're not supposed to be able to move your limbs. You're not supposed to, you know, we're talking about pretty limitless of ability. And here this woman is learning how to do a half pass at the walk. She's sitting trot. She's doing a sitting trot. We've made gloves, special gloves for her hands so we can bring the elbows in, and now her body moves even better and she's more grounded. It's just to walk, and she's walking. Now, she needs a little assistance, but she's walking. She can back up 10 steps. She can walk forward. And then we have a gentleman who had an autoimmune disease, and they told him he was going to be in bed for the rest of his life. And now he's walk, trot, cantering, and he can get he can get his leg up and over the horse, and he just needs a little, like, making sure the boundary's there when he's coming down. I mean, these are professionals told them they're never going to be able to do A, B, and C.
And they're doing it.
And they're doing it.
Wow.
And I see that all the time. Oh, my child's not going to be able to do that. Or my child's never going to learn that vocabulary. And yeah, they will. Just you keep showing up and I'll keep doing my thing and watch. Your child's going to learn.
You do have a mindset, and I think mindset is important to you. What is that?
Again, the underdog. I'm big on that. I'm also about empowering people. I never want to tear anybody down. If you can't build someone up, then step away and let someone else be part of the solution.
And yet you will give people a lot of critical direction when they need it.
I say, I love you, but you can do that better. Okay, try harder. I know it's difficult. And here's the other thing. When they're in the ring, I don't treat them like they have a disability. I treat them like anybody else. Okay, that right arm stinks. We got to work on that. You need to focus. Make the mind-body connection. Focus on it. Make an effort. It's your life. You want that hand to work, you're going to have to put the time into it. I'll help you. I'll support you. I'll set you up for success, but you have to do the work.
Now, you keep talking about the underdog, and where does that come from in your own life? You've had challenges that I gather have made it easier for you to connect with these people.
So I've been overweight my entire life, and you know, there's a lot of stigma and prejudice that goes along with being overweight. You're not smart, you're not disciplined, you're not athletic, there's a plethora of things that people judge you for being heavy, but that's not really all cases. And growing up, it's like, oh, you're too heavy to do that. Oh, you're not going to be good at this. You're not going to be that. And that, of course, I would cry on the side, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove you wrong. And I don't like it that people squish people and they'll take their dreams away, or they make them feel small, or it's not about what you can't do. Well, how about what you can do? And that's the bigger point for me.
Well, and to that point, you can do and have done a lot. Tell me about the overlap or the links between the various sports you've done and what you do in the ring.
Okay, so I played competitive volleyball. I'm a junior Olympian at swimming. I have a black belt in martial arts, and I'm pretty successful equestrian. And they all go together because it's a mind-body connection. And it's about enhancing your talents, your specialty, your thing. Do I have to be a great hitter at volleyball? No, but I'm a pretty great setter and a great server and a great digger. I have a lot of other things that are great. So no, I'm not a great hitter. But did I work on it? Sure. I mastered things that I was good at in that sport. And again, it's all about being a mind-body connection.
Let's go there for a minute. What does that mean?
So Again, it comes to like, okay, I come in with a deficit. I have to focus and I'm going to have to work hard on my deficit. I want to be stronger. I want to be more balanced. I want to work harder. Let's just say I'm got cerebral palsy and I want to use my hands better. I want to use my leg better. I'm going to have to focus on it and concentrate that I can get my hand to give me more than it gave me yesterday.
But there's also a balance because you can focus too much.
Yes, you can.
So what? And when you talk about the martial arts and the breath, that's again going back to all those things that have to be kind of balanced. Tell me more about that when you're riding, especially.
So breathing. So their studies show that the percentage of people holding breath when they ride is high, and when you hold your breath, you become tense. So when you, like dressage is the one with the top hats and the horses are doing like ballet under saddle. It looks effortless, but it's taken years and it's taken subtle, like the horse will feel you take a breath a certain way and like, oh, we want this. Oh, she just slid just a little bit with her outside leg. She wants this. She moved her hand subtly, but it took years to build those subtleness, and the breath is important because it communicates everything. If you're holding your breath, you're tense, your shoulders change, your body alignment changes, your eye contact changes. That comes across as confidence or lack of. Mm-hmm. And it's important to breathe, to be centered, to bring all your chi energy into play.
And I assume your students do come out of this, in general, much more confident.
Yes, empowered.
What about
celebration of the things that celebrating the things they've accomplished.
What about time when they're not actually on the back of the horse, caring for the horse, all the surrounding in the barn stuff that goes on?
So in my particular barn, I found that it's a big hit or it's not a hit at all. And I guess when it's not a hit, it's really because those are the people that need the movement on the horse. They need that input. They need, or they feel better because they can get off and walk better. Their legs have lengthened. They've worked on their core. So, you imagine, when you go into a PT, you're sitting on a ball, and that's great exercise, and that's a great challenge. Now try to do that on a horse that's moving anywhere from 2 to 8 miles an hour. We've now bumped up that ball scenario into a whole nother ball game. So when you've mastered that, you're stronger, better.
So you work on a lot of different levels. So it's like therapy, psychotherapy, and physical therapy, all kind of rolled into one.
Yes.
You do have, I think, underpinnings or an underlying philosophy that has to do with giving up. Tell me about that.
I don't believe in giving up at all. Never. Don't limit yourself. I'm big on not giving up. A matter of fact, I have spent many sleepless nights trying to figure out how am I going to communicate with this person who's having a receptive, whose receptive learning is not there. So talking to them is not the best way to communicate. I have to find another way. Or when someone's visually, who's never seen a horse, doesn't know what 90 degrees is, how am I going to communicate this and show them so that I can teach them what a circle is?
What is the most important thing that you would like to communicate to all of these people?
Biggest thread. Again, just not limiting yourself. Don't let people limit you. Don't let people push you down. And even other professionals will tell you, you won't be able to do this or you can't do that. I find that the human spirit and the human will is far bigger than any professional is going to tell you. I've seen it so many times where doctors have come out, like, what are you doing? PTs have come out. What are you doing that I just gave her physical, I watched her walk a line, and she's so much stronger on her right side. What are you doing?
And what's your answer?
And a lot of times doctors don't know. They don't know what we do. They don't know about other modalities that are out there that help people have a mind-body connection. So I see it a lot. So I don't like it when I hear someone say, oh, my doctor says I'm never going to be able to do that. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't think so, but okay, we'll see. I doubt it, but I'm hearing you. I respect what they're saying. Okay, well, let's just see. And I love when I get to take film and they send it back to the doctor and I'm like, look what I'm doing. And it happens all the time.
That's great. What do you get out of it at the end of the day? What brings a tear to your eye?
Well, I definitely want to leave the planet knowing that I did something, I added to it, not taking away. And that I'm about building things up and not tearing down. That's kind of my driving force in life in general, in everything I do.
Well, keep building up.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the award.
Thank you so much.
Do you know someone who has overcome significant hardship and has an inspiring story to tell? Someone who has sacrificed or given over and above to the community and deserves some recognition? If so, please contact us with your nomination for next year's Local Hero Awards. To find out more about our local heroes and to watch interviews with all the winners, visit our website, midpennmedia.org. At the Mid-Peninsula Community Media Center, you can make your own videos and television programs and take classes in all aspects of media production. You can also hire our professional services team. To find out more about that, go to mcproservices.com. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank you for watching.